Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a remarkably simple, totally accessible daily habit that can literally reshape and upgrade your brain. We hear a ton about physical fitness, hitting the gym, getting your steps in, but today we're going to talk about cognitive fitness. We're going to break down the actual science of what happens to your mind when you sit down and pick up a book every single day.
Have you ever looked at someone and just wondered why they seem to think so fast? Like, they recall details effortlessly, they connect the dots, and they solve complex problems way better than anyone else in the room. It's super tempting to just assume, oh, they were just born smarter. But what if they weren't? What if they actually actively built a stronger brain? Because the science tells us that dedicating just 20 minutes a day to reading can fundamentally transform the way your brain operates.
Let's kick things off with part one, the brain is a muscle. Think about it like this. Just as lifting weights breaks down and builds up your physical muscles, reading absolutely strengthens your mind. Every time you turn a page, millions of neurons are literally firing and wiring together. Now, compare that deep engagement to our modern digital world. Day in and day out, we are constantly bombarded by notifications, right? We're frantically jumping from one task to another, essentially training our brains to be frazzled and distracted all the time. Reading gives us the exact opposite. It's this incredibly powerful antidote that forces you to slow down, lock into a deep focus, and think clearly. So what actually happens when you commit to doing this? Well, your brain goes on this amazing evolutionary journey, and the benefits compound beautifully over time. It starts with a serious boost in your focus within just the first few days. Then, over a couple of weeks, you'll naturally see your vocabulary expanding. And ultimately, over months and years, you're locking in solid, long-term cognitive health. Let's break down exactly how this timeline works. Moving right along to part two, the first few days. Okay, so just a couple of weeks into a new reading routine, this totally effortless progression kicks in. Because you're reading daily, your brain kind of turns into a sponge. It starts quietly storing thousands of new ideas and complex sentence structures completely behind the scenes, without you even trying to memorize a thing. Because of that, your vocabulary just naturally starts to grow. And the end result? You end up communicating with a whole new level of confidence simply because you've built up this massive, rich mental library that you can just pull from in your everyday conversations. Which brings us to part three, living the story. This is absolutely fascinating. When you are deeply engaged in a book, your brain isn't just mechanically processing words on a page. It's literally creating an entire world. If a story vividly describes a lush green forest, your brain's visual cortex lights up as if you were physically standing right there among the trees. If a character is sprinting away from danger, the movement-related areas of your brain actively respond. You aren't just absorbing text. Neurologically speaking, you are simulating and living the experience. And all of that deep internal simulation, it's a massive mental workout. I mean, think about what you're doing. Every single chapter introduces new characters, fresh locations, unexpected facts. Actually, it's not just introducing them, it's forcing you to track and follow these incredibly complex events. The sheer effort of keeping that narrative straight forces your brain to heavily exercise its storage capabilities. And the best part is that this workout doesn't stay confined to the book. It bleeds over into your real life, vastly improving your everyday memory recall. But it goes way beyond just memory. Reading actually builds mental agility by exposing your brain to completely different cultures, backgrounds, and entirely new ways of thinking. You step outside of your own default worldview. When you spend time walking in the shoes of characters from completely different walks of life, you naturally become a more open-minded, versatile, and effective problem solver in the real world. All right, let's zoom out a bit. Part 4, months and years later. Now, before we look years down the road, we have to talk about the immediate physical benefits because they are staggering. Get this. Reading for just 6 minutes has been shown to reduce stress faster than drinking a hot cup of tea. Just 6 minutes. Your heart rate physically slows down, your muscles begin to relax, and your mind gets a much-needed escape from all its daily worries. It is a wildly powerful, instant antidote to modern anxiety. Now, just imagine giving your mind and body that kind of gift every single day. When you string those daily sessions together, you get this massive compound effect. Your focus, it becomes deeply resilient. Your memory sharpens up. Your creativity and vocabulary expand in ways you wouldn't believe. And as a result, your confidence when communicating just absolutely soars. All of these tiny, seemingly insignificant daily improvements aggregate into a completely transformed,
literally more efficient mind. And here is perhaps the single most incredible long-term benefit: cognitive preservation. By continuously challenging your brain with complex narratives, you actively help maintain your cognitive function as you age. Now, to be clear, it's not some magical, guaranteed cure for memory-related illnesses, but keeping your brain highly active through daily reading is one of the best proactive investments you can make for your long-term mental armor. Okay, let's make this actionable. Part 5, the daily reading habit. First things first, we need to bust a huge myth. Reading is not about speed reading or trying to conquer some massive mountain of books just to brag about it. Consistency completely beats volume every time. Reading just 10 pages every single day, that is incredibly powerful for rewiring your brain. But forcing yourself to binge 100 pages in one sitting just once a month, that's practically useless for building habit or changing your brain. It's those small, daily repetitions that create truly extraordinary results. And that brings us to the magic number: 20. Just 20 minutes. Think for a second about how much time we spend mindlessly scrolling through short, fragmented videos on our phones, videos we literally won't even remember tomorrow morning. What if you tried replacing just 20 minutes of that endless scrolling with reading about a topic you genuinely enjoy? The goal here isn't to impress anybody, it's just to build a 20-minute habit that you actually look forward to every day. At the end of the day, you really are the architect of your own mind. Your brain is going to become whatever you repeatedly train it to become. If you feed it endless, shallow distractions, it's going to become fragmented and anxious. But if you feed it knowledge, deep focus, and narrative, it becomes powerful, efficient, and wise. So I'm going to leave you with this question. What are you going to feed your brain today? The next time you find yourself with 20 free minutes, try skipping the doom scroll. Grab a book instead, because every single page you turn is a step toward becoming a sharper, much stronger version of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.